Oh, yes, indeed. Whoops.
Hey,
I
what's
didn't.
going on?
I didn't get to hear none of the music. I'm sad.
You
What?
didn't hear the music?
You didn't hear the
No, I
music?
didn't hear the intro.
Oh no.
Not that.
I was
Oh,
on mute and I unmuted. I still can't hear nothing. I was like, oh no, I love that intro. The intro be
Oh
good.
wow.
oh
Welcome
man.
to Middlepage Podcast, powered by Blast Music 24/7. I'm Sharita C.W. Dela Cruz, and these are the guys minus Sunshine. Should be in a little bit. What's going on, V? Martin, what's up? How's
Hey,
y'all's week going?
thank
Nothing
you for
much.
having it over. I'm just glad it's over. Sheesh.
It's been a long week so far. I'm in the middle of my week so far. I kind of like I'm in my mid Friday right now because I'm off tomorrow. So um, I looking forward for the next 2 days. Um, Trying to get things in perspective. Trying to work on a little thing. I kind of like apply for this the water alkaline what it is, alkaline water plus something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
You know the alkaline water I'm talking about in the bottle. It comes in different flavors, coming like cucumber, and so I'm trying to do affiliation partnership with them.
Okay. All right. What about you, V?
Um,
I'm working on that a little bit. So and trying to just taking it easy for the off season for sports a little bit. I still got my Friday show, which 4 episodes is left. With that, I do my Miami Hurricane show tomorrow night. Because I usually do it on Tuesdays, but since this show is at 9, I don't want to do a back-to-back show, so I moved it
Mm-hmm.
just to give me a little break. So my Miami Hurricane show, I have a special guest on my show. Me and him he coming on at 8 o'clock. The show starts at 8. He comes on at 8 o'clock tomorrow. His name is Alex Dono. He's like one of the he does Locked On Canes, and he does a really good job. He's like really in the down in there. So I'm linking up
Okay.
with him to do another live stream tomorrow. So that should be fun.
Cool. And
that's
real quick before we get to V, where can we listen to that live stream
I
tomorrow
definitely
night?
will. You can listen it on Facebook. I will have it linked to Facebook, and I will have it linked to my Facebook group, Livewire Sports Entertainment, and plus on YouTube.
Okay.
So therefore, y'all definitely can catch it at 8 o'clock tomorrow. So yeah,
Cool.
it's gonna be exciting. I'm looking forward to it. He's my man. So anything I hear about Miami Hurricanes, there's only two people I really trust. I usually do my research, but it's Christopher Stark. He does the writing for Inside the U, and
Mm-hmm.
Alex Dono. He does Inside the Kings. There's some other great guys out there too that I listen to, but these are two because they have been awesome by blessing and coming on my show, participate. So yeah,
Cool.
so
What about you, V? How was your
shoot.
week so far?
It's just been hectic. Dealing with IT, and it seemed like people can't leave stuff alone so it don't break, and it's just been nuts. But other than that, everything's good. I'm just thankful. I'll be going into the office tomorrow and Thursday, so it's all
Okay.
downhill. Hmm.
Well, um, it's winding down. January is winding down. I think we were talking about in the green room that January is winding down and
Hmm.
February is upon us. What less than look them a little vision.
in a couple of hours,
Yeah, a
you
couple
might say.
hours. Yes. Um, what we're talking about tonight is sex and middle age. Um,
Ooh.
let's talk a moment about the fact that, now that we're middle aged, the way that things have been, I just think as a consensus, are different as it had been in the past.
Mm-hmm.
You not as, I don't know how you guys roll or whatever, but I'll just be transparent because I'm where I'm at now in a way better place. But there
Yeah.
was times that I did what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it, and I did really, really enjoy long-term relationships. So I wasn't out there, but
Yeah.
I had my times when I did what I wanted to do. But
Understood.
coming into middle agedom, well, I'm married now, and it's exciting to be able to have one partner. So the
Mm.
difference, between the way things have been and then the way things are change in that department. What are some things that you guys have noticed have changed between um, what had been and what is now in regard to sexual life?
You know, when I was a young head, it was about the quantity. As I've gotten older, it's about the quality.
Mm.
Right, right.
um, and the small things mean more than they used to before. You know, not just about hitting it and leaving. It's more about really enjoying that significant other or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
really being a part of their life. For me, chemistry is a must. So if there's chemistry, then it just makes the whole experience better. But
Yeah.
that's 2 cents.
Um, I agree with V. Chemistry has
Hmm.
is chemistry is a is I don't know, for me now, when I was a little bit younger, a lot younger, um, the urge for it would be more and more, or whatever. But now, as I got older, I'd be like, yeah, you know, I
It is
just
what it is.
it is what it is, but
Right.
I still desire it, because we all human,
Right.
and like, you have partners that you want to enjoy it with, regardless if it's a lot or less, and just like he said, I think it's not so much as the quantity now, it's so much as the quality, spending time with that person, just relaxing, just sharing moments, while I have to be engaged in there,
Right.
in sex, because society is very sex driven right now.
Absolutely.
I think it's more sex driven than it ever had been, and you got people our age, younger, they just, that's all they want. They don't want nothing else. They don't want no relationship. They just,
Right.
hey, and I'm not gonna knock them for it. That's your thing. Even
Hmm.
I mean, some relationships is kind of like where, yeah, if we do, we do. If we don't, we don't. And but some relationships are based on sex too, because if
Right.
they not getting enough sex, is an issue with the relationship, and then that leads into a whole different territory. Somebody stepping out because they're not being fulfilled. So, you
Let me
know,
stop you right. Let me stop you right there, Martin. So that really kind of brings up to the place of, like you said, someone being fulfilled or someone not being fulfilled um, in relationships. And when it comes down to intimacy, there might be some reasons why the other person might not be more apt to want to engage in sexual activity.
Mm.
Some of the things that I've researched were hormonal changes, chronic health conditions, possible
mhm,
medication consumption, stress, fatigue. and midlife weight gain. I mean, we can speak on all of those things because maybe you don't feel attractive to your partner. Maybe you're too tired to be intimate. Maybe life is just so overwhelming that you ain't thinking about sex.
Right.
Boom.
You know, like whenever you were in a relationship with somebody that, you know, might want to have the same ideals as they had when they were younger. I mean, sure, it's great to have a great appetite, but you know, someone is saying, "Hey, I have a lot on my mind. This, that, and the third." There's a level of patience and understanding that needs to be in place for that. You know, because maturity is maturity, nonetheless.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
You know, speaking on, you know, and the things that I'm mentioning don't necessarily apply to anyone on here. This is definitely a show in
Yes.
regard to information. Of course, we're not therapists or doctors, but we are middle-aged folk, and we can attest to some of the content here. Otherwise, it is informative for you, the viewers of the Middlepage Podcast. In regard to women, I'm a woman. I'll speak on women. You guys can speak on men. But
Sure.
you know, some things that women might encounter when it comes to getting older that may affect them having a great moment in an intimate moment would be like, you know, vaginal dryness, or the, you know, your organs, all of our organs, all the way from our hands all the way to our feet. Everything is supple now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, softer, and you know, skin loses elasticity over time. Even with women, you know, there's stuff called prolapse, where you know we're holding organs in our bodies
Mm-hmm.
just by skin or by tissue on the inside. You know what I mean? Of course, you guys have the external member, but you know, there's a lot going on inside of a woman, and
Mm-hmm.
so you know, women have to be encouraged and be understood about their bodies and what's going on in order to be able to maintain healthy uh, activity in all areas, whether it's exercise, whether it's mental health, whether it's any type of health, including sexual health and intimacy. Um, I
Yeah.
guess you guys can speak on some of the things, not to say that you experience it, but maybe stuff that you've heard from your fellow middle-aged men about the challenges that men might face in regard to intimacy.
Definitely, I'll speak on that. As you get older, man, the way things used to be don't always perform the same way. Uh, you have to come to a place where you want to be honest with yourself, and something's not right. So definitely going to the doctor, make sure you straight, do your annual, get your heart checked, and all that other good stuff. When you get to a certain point in your life, definitely do a colonoscopy. I can never say it right, but you know, definitely
Colonoscopy.
Colonoscopy.
colonoscopy. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely get checked because hey, if you have issues with your prostate, that will affect your Johnson. Just letting you know.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, high blood pressure, that'll affect it.
Mm-hmm.
Diabetes, that'll affect it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things that will take away something of your youth that you're so accustomed to. But if you allow fear to stop you to, you know, get this dealt with, you're going to be missing the joys of your youth at an older age. So,
Yeah.
um,
That was a
take
good
care.
way to put that, Troy.
Thank you. I have my moments.
Would you like to add to that, Martin?
Oh, most definitely, because he touched on a very important um, um, I can't even put the word. He touched on a very important note, and especially when it comes down to high blood pressure. You got eating right, exercising also plays a part of, you know, blood flow in the body. You know, definitely go get a physical, get checked out, and all of that stuff. But be careful of the medications that you take, because medications do have side effects, and they can
Yes.
really inept the man's Johnson. So, but I always, people always ask me because they look at me and they say, "Well, you so young. How for your age? What do you do?" And I just tell them simply, I try to exercise as much as I can, even though I don't. But I do get exhausted. I do get tired because I work. My job does consist of production, running a machine, being on a line, standing for
Mm-hmm.
hours. You got to eat properly. So I always try to eat properly at work. You know, try not to partake in too much. Like alcohol,
Right.
for say. So I know when I could have alcohol. I know when I don't need alcohol. So I kind of, I try to share some of my journeys of my life, where I do, because as I'm getting older, I found myself more and more tired, you know, more, I love my sleep. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
My sleep is so significant right now.
I'm
Um,
starting to really love sleep.
Um,
my oldest daughter,
we ain't going there.
she's funny. She loves her sleep. That's all we talk about, our sleep. We love our sleep. So I'm telling you, on my days off, that's all I do. I get up, even though I know I have stuff to do. I'll time it perfectly to where I need to, and then I know how to end my day to get my rest again for the next day. So, but all in all, I, I never had issues. I must say that, but as we just alluded to, for the men's side of the aspect, is that a lot of men, they be overworked, overstressed, not eating properly, spend too much time out drinking, using drugs, smoking, not taking care of their body, and all of this great stuff. And they do have issues in the bedroom, and
So it's safe to say that when it comes to men, if there's a problem with intimacy, it's probably something underlying, like a medical condition
yeah.
or health,
Hmm.
nutrition
Mhm.
concern.
And as us as men, we too prideful to go to the doctor to get checked out because we think we okay. I don't have no problem go to the doctor. Trust me. If I say this all the time. I told my sister this. If I could bring my doctor from Seattle to here, I would be golden. She
Mm.
was she really changed my life when I moved there because my doctor in Savannah, she was great, but she was always trying to make me take high blood pressure medicine, and I just was against it. And I
Hmm.
knew as a way that even though our family suffer from hypertension, um, but I knew I, my body could survive without medication, especially if I'm trying to do something natural for my body. So when I
Mm.
Moved to Seattle, my allergies got better, my energy got better because my doctor, she didn't put me on blood pressure medicine. She changed my diet. I
Mm.
I think, Sarita, you knew this because I talked to you while I was in Seattle a few times here and there.
Hmm.
Um, I've been on the Mediterranean diet since for probably about 2.5, almost 3 years now.
Yeah.
I've been on the Mediterranean diet. I also been dabbing into keto a little bit too to
Yeah, he
help.
didn't like it. He didn't like it when he first started, but I think he found a way to like it.
But yeah,
Could you
because you
expound on that just a little bit?
well, the
Um,
Mediterranean diet, when I first tried it, it was something different because like I stopped eating pork regardless before that,
mhm.
but it was you had to slow down on beef a little bit more um, than anything because the diet consists of you because you eat beef like once a month. you
Mhm.
know, no pork. It's mainly seafood, chicken, stuff like that, spices, um, vegetables,
Mhm.
some egg, some yogurt. I don't try to do a lot of yogurt because it depends on, but I use the kind of yogurt I eat in the morning is a keto yogurt. It's
Okay.
very very good. So I kind of like use a little bit of keto and a little in my Mediterranean diet to balance me out a little bit. So I try to stay away from a lot of stuff that has too much of anything in there. So it kind of helps me, because especially the job that I have, it kind of balances me out to keep my energy up high.
Right.
So that's where I do it. I drink a lot. I drink more water. I don't drink sodas as unless I have an urge for it. She told me, she said, you don't have to cut out everything, but just be mindful. Oh my gosh, he pulled a Cowboys cup up. I'm about to get sick. Oh, hold on. But um, but if and I'm saying this for V also, I don't know what your diet is. I don't know how your eating habits is, but
Mhm.
I'm telling you, if you had chance to have a salad throughout the day, do
Mhm.
so. You will. I'm telling
A
you,
salad is a pop of energy.
once you have a salad, I'm telling you, it does something to your body
Oh,
because
Troy be eating. Troy be putting it on for the. Tell on Troy. Get to let him know
I
you have a great palate.
um I what I was about to say, I lost my train. I always either make salads at home, or if I'm out and about, I always try to get a salad because
Mhm.
I know what I like in it, and I know what it does for me, and especially
Mhm.
and sometimes like I might eat like veggie stuff, just no meat, just go, just for a day, I just be like, man, you know what, I want this because I feel like my energy level is kind of like, eh, so I need to bring it up. So definitely, I feel like for us, and I'm saying this for men and women,
Yes.
having great eating habit and great exercise lead to better relationship and a better sex life.
Nice.
I
So
receive it.
it so it's safe to say that kids gone, the thought of pregnancy is really not on your mind. Monogamy is, in the midst. Because, like, let's talk about the elephant in the room. People going to, I guess, date younger people to make them, I think that's the go to. Dating younger people or doing young people stuff
Hmm.
Can't do
to make themselves feel younger,
it. Can't
and
do it.
that is not the case, guys. And I will say this to our audience: it is not the case. The sooner that you embrace, and I think the fellas will agree with me, on all gender levels, the sooner you embrace the fact that you're maturing, that you're seasoned, and that you are not who you used to be, it's
Right.
power.
Yeah.
It is.
It's a powerful thing, because, like, I mean, I was a little bit like, oh, I'm in my 40s, man. I'm 46 now, and I'm not touting it like but I am touting it like because God bless a lot of our friends and family who have not made it here,
Hmm.
Right.
and I thank God for every day. But I'm proud to say that I'm here and that I can learn and continue to know more, up to and including nutrition, about intimacy, about all the things. And I don't want to be young. I don't want to do young people things. And,
Right.
I just, in young people things, there's a borderline there,
Mhm.
staying up all night is not something that we can do anymore. You just clearly cannot do that anymore.
Man, look at here.
Um,
I don't even attempt
pizza,
to.
eating pizza, or eating out, or eating fast food every day It's not something that you can do. Multiple partners, that is just certainly something that you cannot do. You need to get with yourself and understand what it is that you need for you, and everything will come full circle.
I agree with that.
I'm sorry, my chuckle is based on remembering the joke Sinbad was saying about when you're 55 trying to mess with that young woman. She gonna kill you and she gonna take your house. So,
well, I'm almost there, and definitely I ain't trying. I don't need one. I need my sanity. I'm sorry, my sanity is more important than anything else right about now in life.
With you on that.
So both of y'all probably have that homeboy that kind of still be out there or deal with the young girls. Not even young, but I'm saying like 30-something women even is kind of young for us at this point.
Right.
My daughter is 30, so I could never even date a 30-something guy. It was just not in my moral compass.
Let me tell you, when I was 30, it was no slowing down. I dread it now. I ain't gonna lie. I had one of the most 29 and a half breakdowns that I ever had in my life. I hated to turn 30. I seen the future ahead of the game. I'm like, no, this is not how it's supposed to be right now. But then when I got past 30 and I got like 32, 33, it got a little bit better for me. And I enjoyed it a little bit more. But when I got in my 40s, that's when I loved it all. I love every bit of being 40 because it was like, I got out of that 30 bracket. Because that 30 to 39,
dang. You sound like you went through there.
Oh yes, I did. My 30s took me through the ringer. I hated it. I hated from the moment I was getting ready to turn.
You sound like you went through puberty again.
I felt like I did. It was like a stranglehold, man. I'm telling you. I was mad. I'm mad. I wanted to fight all the time. I was like,
the hell?
I couldn't not like physical fight, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
I was just trying to think like what I'm going, what I'm trying to do, and it's like I never really figured how to get there. I was like, at the time I was married for the first time, you know what I'm saying? And I was stressed. My mom, I found out my mom had cancer at that time.
My God.
Life was taking me through the ringer, left and right. And I'm telling you, I was like, man, if I could get out of this 30 bracket right now.
I can understand.
I was like, it was just one event after another. And I was like, you know what? But then when I got in the 40s, it kind of eased up off of me a little bit, allowed me to, I enjoyed life a little bit more. I was able to do things, go places, have fun, Yeah. And then when I got in my 50s, I always call 50 the reboot season. So if anybody, before you get 50, you know what I'm saying, just know that whatever commitment that you're going to set for yourself from 50 is going to be for wherever you set for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I looked at it. I was excited to turn 50 because I said, you know what? Hey, I'm going to reboot my life. I'm going to allow life to be more enjoyable. I said 20s was cool, because I was still young. Did whatever I want to do. I had my first son in my first son in my 20s. I got married. I did all of that. Now I'm at the stage in my life where I want to be more. I'm seasoned, but I want to be extra seasoned. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, Lowry's.
Yeah. Yeah. like Mrs. Dash. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, salt free. I got
Salt-free,
you.
you know what I'm saying? A little bit more seasoned. You know what I'm saying?
Got
Where
you. Got
taking
you.
life a little slower. You know, being more mindful.
Intentional.
Yeah. Bam. There we go. There we go.
That's where I'm at.
Thank you. You know what I'm
I've
saying?
never been like a really high strung person, but I can get up there. You know, I really on some. I want to just wake up, play a song, get ready for
Mhm.
work, go to work, just chill, take a nap. You know what I'm saying? I'm really on this laid back tip. And a lot of, when I was younger, I worked a lot. I worked a
Mhm.
whole lot. You know, God bless it. I had to. And, you know, I'm at a point in life where I just really want to just relax because
Mhm.
life was very, very, very busy. Um, hey, real quick, before we
Yes.
get guided off, we're going to go to the artist of the week. Who's the artist of the week, Steve?
Oh, yours truly, Nigel Flame.
We have Miss Elsa Aborg. This is a young lady from Sweden, and
Okay.
this is a song
Ooh.
called Nico's Song. Let's check it out.
Once again, I rise.
Yes, indeed. And that is Elsa Aborg with Nico's song. And if you are an independent artist or even up and coming poet or even a comedian that would like to get some exposure, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register as an artist for free. Once
Mm,
again, that's blastmusic247.com, changing the industry one artist at a time. So what do you think about
nice.
that rendition?
I like that. That was
That's
smooth. Like I
nice. I
say,
like
that's
that.
something I would, yeah, that's something I could like, wash some dishes to after a meal.
Hmm.
Just
Mhm.
listen to her project and just vibe out till it's time to go to bed. I could dig that.
Actually, I
The one
love
thing,
music. I
go
love
ahead.
music like that.
Me
Mhm.
too.
The one thing that Blast focuses is we want to get the whole world. We want to hear music from around the world,
Hmm.
and as you could tell, music has no color. It's
Absolutely. It's just
awful.
music.
Yeah, there you
You,
go. There you go.
you
Hmm.
music sounds like though it could be in like in a James Bond movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Man, cause it hooked me. It's like the intro to James Bond, and I
With
was
that
just
guitar,
yeah,
right?
and I was just sitting here like swaying. I was like, man,
You feel like this.
I was like, okay, we about to get that then James Bond intro. I was like, all right.
We like
So
to
Right.
mix it up, give a different
I like
vibe of
that
every
though
type of flavor.
because like me and Sharita, we talked for years about music and stuff, and she knows like I'm always like when I was really heavy doing my poetry to music and stuff, and
What's that girl? What's that girl?
Samantha,
Real quick,
Samantha
because we
Jewell,
got to get back to our topic.
yeah, Samantha Jewell.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm still in contact with her. She always asks me
Hmm.
what I'm doing, and I told her I'm doing podcasting now. She
You can
asked me,
always give Troy. You can always give Troy some of that music.
yeah,
So
hey, Troy,
real quick, we gonna get back on. We're
we'll
gonna get
talk
back
at the
on
end of the
point.
show. We'll talk
Yeah,
at the end of
yeah, yeah.
the
We'll
show.
get back on point. So before we left, we were talking about some of the things that people should do to make sure that their ability for intimacy is secure. Um, let's talk about more things because we're about the positive tip. We're not gonna, browbeat, the things that's wrong with us or could be wrong with us. We want to help fix problems, right?
That's
So
right.
Yeah,
you guys already said quality over quantity. I think that was exciting to say, and y'all expounded on that. And we can just take like 30 seconds on each one per person so we can, get a real good flavor on each of these remedies, right? Um, focus on pleasure, not the orgasm.
Mm.
That was
It's
one of the tips that I found.
That's kind of hard only because, and just hear me out. I am more of a pleaser than I am anything. So if I'm trying to bring complete satisfaction, that's always the goal for me. However, I know women do sometimes work on a different
frequency.
perspective in that aspect, whereas the time you spend with them,
Hmm.
what are you doing as far as prior to that? And you really put an initial effort to try to make it special. These are all small, minute things that, from what I've seen, women care for. So, the old cave mentality of when you were younger to just hit it and quit it,
Quit
as the
it.
saying is,
Yeah.
that doesn't apply to this generation. You, like I said, it's quality over quantity, and
What did Bernie Mac say? How did he say it? I hope you get. I'm gonna get mine. I hope you got yours.
Hmm.
On the old
Oh, yo,
comedy skit.
Def Comedy Jam. I know what you're
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have you want to speak on focus on pleasure, not the orgasm, Martin?
Oh yeah. For me, I always was um as I growing through that stage of life of, intercourse, being sexual, with a woman, and not, during that time, like he said that, some of these young guys is just boom, you want to get in there. But as I got older and started understanding, and it takes a keen ear of a man to listen to what a woman is saying when it comes into that department.
Right.
So for what I have done, and women would say, well, how you know how to do this? How you know how to do that? I never had this done before, or whatever the case might be. It's all about taking initiative, allowing the woman to feel special in that moment. You know what I'm saying? If you spend it all day with her, and you doing all these night, you ain't got to be doing nice days, just quality time in general, just enjoying each other company. But then when it comes to the bedroom, and you allow her to feel free, that's the key in the bedroom. Allowing that woman to feel free, allow her to take her mind, her body to another world, to give her that essence of excellency. You know what I'm saying? Where she knows that you are taking care of her body in that moment. You know what I'm saying? You're not looking for yourself. You're not looking for your moment, but you giving her every inch of every moment that she's seeking, just for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever the case might be. But long as she achieves that, then it doesn't matter. She doesn't even care what you do after that, because you allow her to feel free. So allowing that woman to feel free in the art of lovemaking, that's the gift that any woman will want from a man. If you go in there like an 18-wheeler, hogging up the whole highway, and then run off the road and just be done with it, then she's gonna look at you like you crazy. So my thing is, I learned that through the years, and my ultimate goal is spending time with you, listen to you, make you feel special, hearing you out. But at the same time, when it comes down to the intimacy part, I want you to feel as free as possible.
Good tips. Good tips. Setting aside time for intimacy. Forget mood. Forget your sex drive. Kind of like, what used to be, what was. Speaking for women, some women have high-strung sex drive. And, when they get into middle-agedom, they might still think that they still on that level. Sis, you might be, you might not be, but your partner might be, might not be. You have to make sure that you get on the same page with your partner. And like I said, we're touting monogamy here. We're not talking about, just, and if people do more than that, and they have all those polygamies and partners and things like that, there's more power to you. But I'm just saying, we're speaking on terms of monogamous, loving relationships. Trying new positions, tantric sex, eating chocolate. Knowing what your partner. I'm sorry.
Novelty stores.
Some people do want to engage in novelty stores and things of that nature. You can expound on that for our audience who would be interested in those tips. Go ahead if you'd like to expound on that just a moment.
You got that, Martin?
Martin, you said it. I thought maybe you were just giving an idea. You didn't want to expound on that.
Well, I can. You got to bring the level of excitement into your relationship.
Yes, speak on it briefly, because I know you act like you knew a little bit about that. You said it very confidently.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, the first time that I've never been to one, but I had a lady friend of mine that I was dating. She's like, "Hey, you want to go to a novelty store?" I was like, "No, I mean," but I'm always, you know, women always like spontaneous stuff. So as a man, you want to be open to it. You don't want to be like, nah, I'm good. And then, you know, but once you go there, you see different things. You know, it might not be the toys. It might be just costumes. You know what I'm saying? Dress up. You know, just something to spice up the the romance a little bit more. Or I mean, I listened to one lady say she used to take her husband to a strip joint, not not so much for him to take home somebody, but at the same time she was open to anything that to get his attention to engage into where they need to be at home. She was all for it. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So the level of excitement, spontaneous is always something that you should always be open for. Now, I ain't talking about having threesomes and swingers and all of this crazy stuff out there. I'm just talking about monogamy for the two individuals. You know what I'm saying? If you open to certain things, you know, not that crazy wild stuff that Hollywood is out here doing and all of that stuff like that.
Hollywood stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I'm just talking about in general. To
yeah,
where you might you might want to dress up, or you might want to go somewhere. You might want to go, wherever whatever it is to bring the level of romance in there. You never want boring. And sometimes some relationships say, "Hey, I like the old school romance." Horse and
yeah.
carriage rides, walking down the beach, walking down, whatever, just holding hands, taking a long cruise ride, something, to bring the level of excitement into the relationship, but yeah, I mean, and if, going to a novelty store works for you, then hey, go. Some people couples watch pornography together, a level of excitement for themselves. There's all different things. I said that each is on. But you want, like, I think that you touched on it, Sharita, where you both has to be on the same accord.
Right.
It can't just be your idea and he said
You
no.
pulling them along for the ride, and they
Yeah,
just
pull them
doing it to
up,
be doing it.
and then or
I didn't really want to do that anyway.
yeah, and then it'd be like he doing it because you want to do it, but he don't really want to do it, or she don't really want to do it, and then you get mad
Right,
like, well, why you don't want to do this? And then what, and big old argument, and be like, it got to be balanced, because
right,
if it's something that I like to do, I never did, and I want to try, and my partner is not okay with it, and they want to, I'm not gonna force it on them. I'll give them the opportunity to say, well, hey, what would you like to do?
right.
Let's try what you would like to do. Not necessarily it has to be my idea or whatever. Because if I'm very open to where, we can share ideas, it don't have to be so much of, well, I thought about this, and, we think we can do that. Each person got to be comfortable doing what it is, they need to do in
Right.
their relationship. So, yeah.
So equal opportunity. I guess me being a newlywed and being excited about married life and about intimacy, like this next one is important to me. Flirting.
Hmm.
I love when my husband flirts with me or says flirty things.
Mhm.
I'm like whenever I was younger, I really didn't have an understanding about sex per se because sex was introduced to me in a way that wasn't the way that it should have been. Let's just say that. Sex was a weapon at least once or twice in my life, you know. Intimacy was something that was, I ran from intimacy because that got too close to emotions. As I got older as a woman and started understanding myself, my needs, my opinion and understanding about sex changed. And arriving here in middle-agedom, getting married last year to a really wonderful, real understanding man. Flirting is one of the simplest things in the whole wide world, and I know it's effective. You know, kiss on the cheek, walk up behind you, kiss you, just be watching TV and just catch him looking at me. It's like, what you looking at? I don't know what you looking at. And we just, next thing you know, we blushing, you know. And you know, you like arriving at, what did you say, taking your time, right, Martin? You could start like on your, both of you got the day off. Someone cooks one breakfast, the other one you might take a shower together. You go out to the flea market and just be holding hands all day. It's just all day. You bringing it up a notch, bringing it up a notch. By the time you've had dinner and you're sitting there watching that movie and you googly eyeing each other, you just can't wait to be intimate. You just can't wait to be next to one another. And, you know, it all starts with something simple like flirting. It says, don't measure desire by ability. Just because, you know, the person, I guess, I really don't understand that one per se. Troy, do you want to speak on don't measure desire by ability? Can you explain that one? I don't know.
Well, I guess, you know, in our younger age, everything was by ability, if you will, versus an actual, you know, desire and longing to be with someone. And now, like I said, that quality over quantity. Quality at the age now, everything is intentional. There's not, we'll see if it happens. Everything has to be planned now. It has to be scheduled. It has to be, you know, organized, if you will. There is no, it just happens. Some days is gone. For me, it is. I don't know about anyone else because spontaneity don't work with me, but scheduling does. And
understood.
You know, you start planning that. But to recap on one of the things that you and your hubby are doing, and this is one thing I didn't learn about my first marriage, and that is constantly date. You have to always keep building that fire of why you two got together.
Yeah, we date twice a month. We go out like twice a month. One day he decides what he's gonna do and he just takes me, and one day I decide what we're gonna do and I just take him. We try.
So you know, I'm already set for the new relationships that, you know, dating is going to be a must. We want to always build the fire of why we were attracted to each other and cultivate that, because, you know, it is so easy to get stagnant.
My God.
And
I've been married before too, and I really thought that none of the stuff that goes on in this relationship ever went on any other relationship, but it was all about mind as well. Mind, power, and the ability to see that it wasn't just him. It was me, because I wasn't available in some ways. And, you know, once you learn and heal and get to a place of vulnerability.
Because like you say, those things that he did that the other didn't, you know, you want to cherish that. You want to make that always special. And I look at those who are old schoolers who were still on fire for each other, is because they're intentional.
And it's amazing. It's amazing when you see them, right? They still out there holding hands and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They choose to date. They still choose to get to know one another. They still choose to be investing in this
Oh, yeah.
person. And I'm all for that smoke right there. So
Yeah.
let's do it.
Can I speak to the ladies real quick? I see it all the time on memes and reels and these little podcast clips that we see on Facebook and Instagram and social media where
You're gonna
where the women, the guys are talking about what they wish the women would do. Excuse me, real quick. I, for one, will say that I always thought that I needed for the guy to do this or that. It is amazing how a man's perspective will change if you actually treat him like you want to be treated. Like for Christmas, I'll just be transparent. For Christmas, I got Jose a Scentbird account.
Okay.
He loves cologne, and I pay attention to him in that aspect, and I love the way that colognes smell on him. So this Scentbird account, like, that really made him feel valued because he gets this little package every month of a new fragrance that I picked for him. I picked all 12 of them, and they're just going to come randomly, right?
I'm liking that. That's
yeah.
right there.
And so, like women, I need for women to understand, yes, they're always talking about what our bodies look like, how we look and stuff like that. We want them to feel valued too.
Facts.
If he wear fitted caps, figure out his hat size and buy him a hat. Go with him to the bar sometime and watch the game instead of him going with his homeboys and surprise him. Pop up with a jersey of his favorite team. You don't know what's going on, girl. You don't know what's going on.
If
But
I can
just go with him.
If I can add to that, ladies, men do like to hear you look good, you smell good, damn, you're fine. All of those accolades we do accept. We may not say it, but trust me, we're listening. So definitely tell your man he look good, because if not, another woman will. Trust and believe.
Because historically, I've heard men say they couldn't be emotional. They don't get what they want out of a relationship, this, that, and the third. But like they could date girls, they be at the barbershop talking, and now they're getting facials, so they got longer to talk now. And they're really expressing themselves to the fellas, and these fellas is telling these fellas what their expectations are. It's like, man, yeah, I want that too, bro. I want that too. And, I'm sorry, I ain't trying to, say y'all sound like that, but y'all be sounding like that. I want that too, bro.
I mean, if the shoe fit, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, for me, it's good to take interest into the person that you involved with, because y'all not gonna have the same interests and stuff, And that's something that I think I struggle with a lot when I meet someone, because they don't like sports, or they wasn't into poetry, or whatever the case might be, and they was into other things. So I showed interest in what they was doing, and I used to beg, so to speak, to say, hey, can you watch this game with me? Go with, no, I don't really like sports and all of that. And it's just like, sometimes I don't want to go with my friends. I want to go with my partner, you know what I'm saying? Just for the company, whether you understand it or not. If you ask me a question, I'll be able to break it down for you and tell you. But if you don't go with me and I'm sitting there and I'll be like, yeah, it was good, but then you can see the disheartedness on my face where I should have went with him. So it's just we gotta learn how to understand as we in relationships. We gotta understand, like you said, understand your partner, know what they like, know what they don't like. Take interest in some stuff. Now you ain't got to do everything.
Yeah, not everything.
just things that you know that they passionate about. If you know they really passionate about this, show a level of interest in it. Ask questions. You know what I'm saying? Ask questions, and at least learn, even research it, surprise her, like, hey, that's that thing, that baking show that you like all the time. I found a really good bake set. They'd be like, oh, you really paid
You
attention.
bought me the Pioneer Woman?
Yes. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it's just them little things like that really sets the mood.
That's what's up.
Tell the ladies stuff that guys like. Y'all represent the men right now. Y'all represent all the men, all the middle-aged men right now. Like, just can you take a minute each to just kind of expound on things that women should know in regard to helping men on an intimate level stay focused, if that makes sense.
It does. You want to start, Martin, or you want me to go ahead?
You can go ahead.
Okay. Ahead. Now, this is going to be kind of humorous, but it's factual, though.
Let's go.
Being a black male, black people deal with something that's called ashy. Most black women. Hold on, man.
Let's go. I want to hear this.
Yeah, most black women are pro lotion, so they are making sure their skin is tight. But if you come up there with your dogs looking like you've been kicking flour and stuff like that, come on, bro. I'm telling you now, a little tip. You come in there straight up lotion, you're going to get some touch service. That's a tip. That's for free. Because ladies don't want to deal with a bro that looks ashy. That's what I've learned. I won't say if that's experience or not.
No ashy brothers.
Yeah.
That's the takeaway there.
There you go.
I'm gonna add to that. I'm definitely gonna add to that.
Go ahead.
Men, your hands, your fingernails.
Mm-hmm.
Women pay attention. They pay attention to your hair. They pay attention to your hands and your nails. If your hands and your nails looking like you been boxing rocks all day long, you ain't about to hold hands with her. You ain't about to get a hug from her.
Dang.
Not even a hug, Martin.
Not even a hug. Because then guess what? Your hand might be too heavy and chalky and sharp. It might just pierce a hole in a shoulder. So I'm just saying, we as men, I love going to get a pedicure and I love getting my hands done at least once a month because I work with my hands a lot. And I notice, I could look at my hands and say, okay, it's time. Because when I go out in public, even if I'm not around someone, somebody's watching. So you want to always make sure you're on point for your woman, because if y'all going out on a date and you looking bust up, she's going to tell you about it. She's like, oh, you're not going nowhere with me. Not looking like that.
Show enough.
Yeah, ladies show will. They show
be like,
will.
you know what I'm gonna do? Matter of fact, we're not even gonna go out this weekend. Next weekend we're gonna plan it. You're gonna go get a pedi and a manicure.
Bless you. Bless you.
And then we can resume this the following week. But this week, no. We staying home. I'll cook. You get it together. So I'm just saying, women pay attention to detail, even from the way a man dressed down to his socks and shoes. Women pay attention to these stuff.
Yeah, they do.
I'm telling you, from your smile, if your breath, and your teeth, I'm telling you, you gotta come correct.
Brett, tell them, Martin. Go ahead and tell them everything they need to know. He on a roll.
You cannot be out there looking fraudulent. I'm trying to tell you.
Not fraudulent.
I'm telling you,
Oh, snap.
man, women will cut you up and spit you out like it ain't nothing. She want to know if you got a great sense of humor, if you can make her laugh.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? How articulate you are. You ain't gotta be a smart behind, or Mr. Know-it-all, but you gotta know how to put A and B together to make
Know how
sense.
to order off a menu. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, not the kids menu, but the regular menu.
Damn.
So these are the things that women expect: great hygiene, looking good, taking care of yourself. You ain't no slob. I mean, she gonna understand that you work hard, but outside of that working hard, she want to see how your appearance is. How well you could keep up yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can't keep up yourself, there ain't no way in the world you could keep her up.
That's good right there.
So yeah.
Hasta mañana. So, with that said, we're wrapping up Sex and Middle Agedom. Thank you guys for being willing to be transparent and giving tips and understanding and sharing this conversation. I want to say we would have I want to say have a part 2, but I think that we're going to segue into dating, middle-aged dating. That is one of our that is one of our topics for April. Mm-hmm. So we might just wait for that. We might just wait for that right there.
That's a good topic. I can't wait for it. Simply
because it's a lot to it now. I thank God I'm out the field. I thank God I'm out the field. That's all I'll say. But at the same time, there is hope.
Yeah. Like I said, keep hope alive.
Yes.
Indeed.
So, on behalf of everyone here at the Middlepage Podcast, just want to thank everyone for tuning in. Make sure that you subscribe to Blast Music 24/7 for the Middlepage Podcast and all the other wonderful programming and access to artists, music, and more on blastmusic247.com.
Indeed.
All right. Have a good night, y'all.
All right.
Peace.
Good night.
Peace.